This video is part 2 of our unit test section. So in our previous video, we looked at how to create a unit test project for a simple console application, and we looked at how to run a basic test by executing a method. Now we're going to look at how to create a second test and test it using assertions. To create a second test, we're going to set up another test method. So we create a test method block like this, public void test method 2, just like above. And so inside of this method, we will create our second test. Now, an assertion is a statement that we have set up to create a true or false expression. So when we create an assertion, it's basically going to tell us whether or not the test passes or fails based on the true or false situation that we have created. In this case, I know that I have a method named double, and so if I provide it with 10, then my expected output should be 20. So I am going to use the assert.rEqual method. And the rEqual method is going to give us a true or false expectation of that value being 20. And so to test this, the first thing that we put in is the value that we expect, comma, the actual value, which is us running this method right here with the value of 10. So it's going to run the method. It's going to pass in the value of 10. We expect it to double that because we understand the functionality of the method. So our expected outcome is 20. The assert statement is going to either return a true or false based on whether or not these two values are equal, because that is the purpose of this function. So if we come over and build, and then we come over to our test explorer, we now see that we have a second test we can run. And so we can run this test, and we can see that the test passes because the assertion is true. Now, if we change this value and say, oh, well, I expect it to be 25 as my expected output, then I run the test again in my test explorer, I can see that the test fails since 25 is not the value returned by the double method with a value of 10. At the bottom of the test explorer window, and I've expanded this so you can see this a little better, there is a message, assert rEqual failed. Expected, we said was supposed to be 25, but actual was 20. So as you're running your unit tests, you can check to see if the values coming back from your methods are as you expect them to be. And if they're not as you expect them to be, then you can see the value that is actually being returned. And so we can use this information to help us find problems in our code and to give us more information on how we can better debug. So we will get into working with unit tests a little deeper at the end of this course, but that's the basics on how to create a unit test and start working with those as you work through learning some of the basics of C#.